So here we go. Today's lesson is very simple. Last week we talked about, learning, to be okay. Learning to be okay with certain things that you cannot change. Because ultimately you have to find those things within yourself instead of through external validation. If people are constantly disrespecting you and you stick around for it and you accept it, then how can you expect them to respect you, because you're showing that you don't even respect yourself? It's the same concept of, needing to be liked. If you need to be liked by so many other people, then 9 times out of 10 is probably because you don't like yourself. And you need to be okay with not being invited or liked or respected or appreciated, because those situations and those environments are not for you. You need to learn how to stick up for yourself, and you need to learn that not every battle is worth being fought for the greater picture. And we've been discussing all of these in great length and to great detail on how not everybody is meant to go on the journey that we have just begun, which is trying to break generational trauma and generational curses so we can become the adults we needed as children by passing down generational wealth and prosperity and habits that lead to happiness, success, health, and wellness. I think, the world would be such a better place if people learned the value of integrity and self-love and gumption and just overall right from wrong, and knowing how to embody these ideals instead of constantly looking for them from other people that still haven't got their shit figured out, right? And that leads me to today's concept. Today's concept is super short, super simple, but nonetheless powerful in my opinion. And I think we're at the point in our journey where we need to hear it. And we need to hear it with sort of a shouting it from the rooftops with an exclamation point on the end, okay? You have survived legit 100% of your worst days. How amazing does that feel? Because I am sure there's been so many times in your life, in my life, in everyone's life, where we thought what we were going through was legitimately, one way or another, going to cripple us, whether it was mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, socially, whatever the case was in your scenario, right? And yet, we're standing here today. We are able to stand tall, and you're able to say, I fell apart and I survived. How amazing is that? You have survived 100% of your struggles, 100% of your worst days. And because of the decisions that you're making recently, you are going to be so much more of a formidable, tenacious, powerful, grateful, amazing human being that you deserved when you were a kid. You're making those decisions now so that your future is going to look totally different, and you're going to be the best version of yourself that ever existed in your life. How amazing is that? That is what makes this struggle so worth it. That is what makes the bad times so worth it. Because those down times, those quiet times, those dark times, those struggling times, that is when character is truly built. That is where you find out who you truly are. Not who you pretend to be on social media, not who you try to be as a front to all kinds of different people who don't give a shizzit anyway. Okay, it's who you truly are at the foundation, at the core of your being, when you're in the dark alone in your room with your thoughts, or whether you're on YouTube, okay? You are becoming the best version of you that ever existed. You are building such character. So forgive yourself for all your past mistakes, turn those into life lessons, and understand that it is a beautiful, amazing thing that you are here today, that you are watching this video, and that you are standing tall, figuratively or literally, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, everything. Okay? The life you're living right now is based on the decisions you made just a few short years ago when you didn't even know as much information as you know now. Now imagine what kind of life you're going to have 5 years from now with all the information that you have right now that you didn't have just a couple years ago. That is growth. That is power. That is amazing. That is fundamentally, it's just you should be so proud of yourself. So proud. You fell apart. You put yourself back together, and you survived. You are not broken. You are healing. That is magical. That is amazing. You are choosing a life that is worthy of the kid that you used to be. I can't think of a better life goal than that. I can't. And I challenge you to think of one. I don't know if you can. I know I can. Becoming the adult you needed as a child is something that we should all be striving for, no matter who we are. We can all have other goals that are completely different because we're all completely different and unique and amazing, limited editions of one. But one goal that should all be the same is being the best versions of us so we can be the adults that we needed as children. And that's one of the ways in which we pass down generational wealth and prosperity. And that's one of the ways we give a middle finger and we break and we crush generational curses and generational trauma so that it stops with us and we don't inadvertently pass it down. All right? The only apology that you should be waiting for is the one that you give to yourself, okay? Anybody else's apology, yeah, that may sound great in that moment, but what does it actually do for you? Like, do you need anybody to remind you of how they hurt you? Like, do you not remember how bad that hurt? Or how low it made you feel like you sunk? No, you don't need that. So the only apology you should be waiting for now that you have survived 100% of your worst days, the only apology that matters is the one coming from you to you. Apologize to the little kid that you used to be, because that person, that little kid is your biggest fan. That little kid is your biggest cheerleader. And we all have to admit that at one point in our lives, we let that little kid down. So we need to apologize to that little kid that we used to be, who gave up their childhood so we could grow up. That's a very selfless act. And sometimes it happens way before our time. So apologize to that little kid and let that little kid know that you are doing better. You got their back, high five them, hug them, tell them you're going to do some epic shizit, and only be concerned with that apology. Make it mean something and change going forward. Because now is your time. Now you have more information. Now you are not ignorant. Now you are not, lacking in any sort of way. Now you have so many of the tools that you need to become the best version of you, which is exactly what that little kid deserves, okay? No one is cheering for you louder than the kid that you used to be. No one. Not one person. Not your mama, not your daddy, not your government, not your favorite teacher, not your best friend. Nobody is cheering for you louder than the little kid you used to be, who wants to see you succeed for them, who needs to see that they still matter to you. Nobody is cheering louder. Nobody matters more than that. Okay? Become the best version of you. And how you do that is very simple. Private, silent, low-key, and loud. Okay? Your plans are private. You make your moves in silence. Your life, you keep it low-key. And your prayers or your gratitude, whatever that looks like for you, say it loud. Say it every day. Be loud and proud when it comes to your gratitude. But your plans, keep those private. Make your moves for your plans in silence. And live your life low-key. Keep that close to the vest. And remember, there's a difference between secrets and privacy. Privacy, the right people know. Secrecy, it's a dirty little secret. Your plans are not dirty little secrets. Your plans are private. Your life is low-key because that's special, and nobody deserves a VIP all-access pass to you unless you decide so. Your moves, don't let anybody know your moves before you make them. Keep them silent. They can't ruin what they don't know, right? And prayers or gratitude, say that loud, be proud, because you didn't get through this far alone. But that doesn't mean that that little kid is going to wait forever. Now is your time. Honor the kid that you used to be. Become the adult that you needed as a child and achieve some epic goals for that little kid that you used to be, and also for the future family that you want, and the life that you want, and the legacy that you want to leave behind someday. That is the way that we become the adults we needed as children. All right, everyone, this has been the latest episode of the Talks with Taeler Hendrix podcast with yours truly, coming to you live every single Tuesday as part of the brand family on RussosBrand.com. Until next week.